No time for the intro screen today. We have too many weird things going on. I'm gonna take these off. They make me look smarter. We can't have any of that. Things are getting worse for P. Diddler. The law firm that's handling victims' claims is now saying they're going to be filing, I believe it's over 100 lawsuits in different states. Now, allegedly, some of these victims coming forward, victims of the Diddler, were underage. 9-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, supposedly. And this law firm has said they'll be naming names. Ooh. One interesting thing I've pondered, is P. Diddler's situation directly related to the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, and other politicians, other high-up people in New York who have allegedly been resigning? Who's involved? Next on the list, we have this raging battle going on over in the sandbox between the Shalom L'Chaim group and the Halalalas. They're going at it like they always have. Something's fishy, though. I've seen a claim that, you remember the music festival where they said all these Hamas or Hezbollah or whatever flew in on their paragliders and shot up Israelis going to this music festival? You remember hearing about that? I've seen a claim that there was a helicopter, perhaps an Apache helicopter, that shot civilians at the music festival. The context is, perhaps if this happened, maybe it happened so they could claim their adversaries to Israel did it, which could justify them doing military stuff. Now, of course, here in the USA, we've been dealing with the fallout from this Hurricane Helene that went over and smashed up stuff and flooded a bunch of things over in North Carolina. One of the towns there that was hit pretty hard was called Spruce Pine. Spruce Pine is a tiny town. A population allegedly less than 2,200 people. The interesting thing about Spruce Pine is that is where, supposedly, the USA's only source of ultra-pure quartz is mined. That super pure quartz is used for both chip manufacturing and solar panel manufacturing. You'd think these chip manufacturers, these solar panel manufacturers too, that they would have a supply of this stuff that's manufactured in North Carolina. Supposedly there's more supply that's manufactured over in Brazil and in Russia. What will the North Carolina supply of ultra-pure quartz, what will it do to the supply chain, if anything? How long until these mines that make this stuff can get up and running again? I've heard something else about this Hurricane Helene, something about a lithium mine that's been approved to go into development. Lithium is manufactured by other countries, but I believe the US is missing a significant manufacturing capability of lithium. Could the hurricane have something to do with that? Would that imply that the hurricane was manipulated, created, pushed into the area to destroy, to flood any areas that could have possibly been used to create a lithium mine? No idea, but it's weird. And of course, we have the port situation going on, the East Coast ports. The longshoremen are on strike, and we all know what that means, don't we? It means toilet paper. You better have it, and you better have enough, or you gotta turn into one of those French people. You're gonna need a bidet. Does your bidet use soap and water, or just water? Are you just wetting your dirty hiney and smearing it around? Or are you gonna soap it up and cleanse it? You know who would know? P. Diddler. Oh, he'd know. Probably not a question he'd appreciate being asked at this point in time. Now, finally, and this is one of the things that interests me the most, the U.S. entity called the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. The chair of the SEC, Gary Gensler, gave a speech to the SEC on September 10th. The speech wasn't particularly interesting. He was talking about things, related to his business, or his father's business when he was a child, and how transparency is needed, and sounds like standard government crapola to me. No, we need transparency, blah, blah, blah. Now you can read the whole speech on the SEC's website, but what you can't read on the SEC's website is a footnote that disappeared from the recorded written speech. Of course, this footnote happened to get recorded from an archived link of that speech, a web archive link. I strongly recommend that a sentence be placed here or somewhere in the first part of the speech to reassure markets that you are not making the speech because you think there's an imminent crisis. You're not making this speech because you think there's an imminent crisis. Well, in the alternative, contrarian media, a lot of people think there's an imminent crisis. I think the stock market's going to collapse, the housing market's going to collapse, perhaps even the currency, not just the dollar, but the currencies, the world currencies are going to collapse. Some people think this will be the big push to introduce everyone to central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Is one or all of these things that I've mentioned have to do with the, quote, October surprise? Were the things that Q said real? Some of them. Don't ask me these questions. I have no idea. I'm just a guitar player.